Brace yourselves, because this premiere episode of Taşacak Bu Deniz is absolutely loaded with devastating emotions, shocking revelations, and a love story so powerful it defies generations of hatred. What we're about to witness today will completely reshape your understanding of fate, destiny, and the lengths people will go to protect the ones they love. Get ready, because this is going to be an unforgettable journey into the wild, untamed world of Turkey's Black Sea coast. Our story begins with sweeping aerial shots of the magnificent Black Sea coastline, where towering green mountains meet the furious, churning waters below. This is Trabzon, a land where nature itself seems caught in an eternal battle between earth and sea. And it's here, in this breathtaking but unforgiving landscape, where two families have been locked in a blood feud that spans generations. The Koçari, people of the mountain, fierce and proud, living by a code of honor that demands blood for blood. And the Furtuna, children of the sea, equally stubborn and equally dangerous. We're immediately thrown into the daily life of this world when we see Fadime, Adil Koçari's sister, tending to her family's herd of goats high in the mountain pasture. A young kid has gotten itself wedged between rocks, and as she works to free it, we see the gentler side of these mountain people, a tenderness hidden beneath their warrior exterior. But even here, in these peaceful highlands, the shadow of the feud looms large. The goat herds of both families have drifted too close together, and the tension is palpable. Meanwhile, down in the Koçari village, we witness something extraordinary. Adil Koçari, the leader of his clan, is holding what can only be described as an audience day. Villagers line up to present their disputes, their problems, their requests. And Adil, this powerful man with eyes that have seen too much pain, dispenses justice with a firm but surprisingly fair hand. When a man accidentally kills another's livestock with dynamite, Adil orders him to work in the pens until his debt is paid and provides replacement animals to the victim. When a young boy's father is imprisoned for illegal hunting, Adil sends his own lawyer to free him. When two men fight over a woman named Akça, Adil discovers she loves neither of them but a man named Çakır, and he arranges for their proper courtship and marriage. This is Adil Koçari, a man of contradiction, a leader who inspires both fear and loyalty, a warrior who understands justice, and, as we will soon discover, a man whose heart was broken so completely that he built walls of stone around it. But what strikes me most about Adil in these opening scenes is the way he interacts with his cousin, Gezep. This man, wild-eyed and trigger-happy, is the embodiment of chaos. When Adil tells him to bring a dozen kids for a trip, Gezep literally steals children from a school. "You told me to bring a dozen kids, so I stole these from school. Here," he announces proudly. And Adil just shakes his head, half amused and half exasperated, because this is the reality of leading a mountain clan. You work with what you have, and what you have is a bunch of loyal but absolutely unhinged warriors. We also meet Dursun, known as Uncle Amirim, the voice of wisdom and experience within the Koçari clan. He's the one who tries to keep things measured, who reminds Adil that there are more important matters than provoking the Furtuna. But Adil has his own agenda, and nothing will stop him from pursuing it. When his sister Fadime wants to join him on his expedition, he reluctantly agrees, but not before warning everyone that today's mission is about checking out land, not starting a war. Of course, we all know that in this world, those two things are rarely separable. The hierarchy within the Koçari family is fascinating to observe. Adil sits at the top, unquestioned. His word is law, but he's not a tyrant. He listens to his people, he considers their problems, he tries to find solutions that benefit everyone. When he orders a man to clean the goat pens as punishment, it's not cruelty, it's justice. The punishment fits the crime, and when that same man eventually repays his debt, he'll be welcomed back into the community with open arms. This is how the Koçari operate. Harsh, but fair. Unforgiving, but loyal. And then there's the matter of the forbidden border. We see signs posted at the entrance to each village. Koçari village, no one from Furtuna allowed. Furtuna village, no one from Koçari allowed. These aren't just warnings, they're declarations of war frozen in time. Generations of hatred crystallized into wooden boards and painted letters. Anyone who crosses these invisible lines does so knowing they might not return. The villagers on both sides live in constant tension. A cow belonging to an old woman named Bedri wanders across the border, and suddenly it becomes an international incident. "My bonkuk still hasn't come back from Koçari," she complains to Esme. But no one will risk their life to retrieve a cow from enemy territory. This is the absurdity of blood feuds. They make enemies of neighbors. They turn simple problems into life or death situations. And they trap everyone in a prison of their ancestors' making. But now, Let me take you across the invisible border that divides this land to the village of Furtuna, where another leader commands respect, Esme, Furtuna. Oh, my friends, when you see Esme, you understand immediately that this woman was forged in fire and salt. She is the village chief, a position traditionally held by men, but no one would dare challenge her authority. Not after everything she's survived. When we first see Esme, she's being alerted that Adil Koçari is headed toward her territory, toward a piece of land that both families claim. And the look in her eyes, that mixture of fury and something else, something deeper, something that looks almost like pain, tells us everything we need to know. Whatever history exists between these two, it runs far deeper than a simple land dispute. Now, here's where our story takes its most fateful turn. Because at this very moment, a car is making its way along the winding coastal roads toward Furtuna village. And inside that car is a young woman whose arrival will change everything. Eleni Miriano is 20 years old, a recently graduated doctor from Athens, Greece, and she possesses one of the most brilliant minds in her generation, with an IQ of 175. But all her intelligence couldn't prepare her for the bomb that exploded in her life just months ago. Because when her adoptive father Gregory died, the priest who baptized her handed over a letter that revealed her entire life had been a lie. My beloved daughter Eleni, the letter read, if you are reading this, it means I've returned to God. Your mother and I have a great secret. I am not your birth father. Your mother is not your birth mother. You are not Greek. You are Turkish. We adopted you in Istanbul, but you are from Trabzon. The only thing I know about your real parents is that your mother was from a village called Furtuna. Can you imagine? Can you imagine discovering that everything you believed about yourself, your identity, your origins, was a carefully constructed fiction? Eleni made her decision immediately. She would find her real mother. She would discover who she truly was. And so, here she is, 3 months after that devastating revelation, driving toward Furtuna with nothing but determination and an artificial intelligence assistant named Nico to keep her company. The AI teaches her about Black Sea culture, warning her that the locals are warm-hearted but incredibly stubborn. They are always right, Nico explains. If you were an electric pole and a local man ran into you, he would say, "What crap are you doing in the middle of my way?" Eleni laughs at this, not knowing how prophetic these words will prove to be, because moments later, a car comes racing down the road and nearly crashes into her. And the woman who storms out, furious and demanding, is none other than Esme Furtuna herself. But here's where it gets complicated. Esme's car is damaged and she needs transportation to confront Adil. So she does what any Black Sea village chief would do. She commandeers Eleni's vehicle at gunpoint. I am Esme Furtuna, the head of Furtuna village, she announces. I am seizing your car. Get in and move. Eleni, understandably terrified, but also strangely fascinated, obeys. And as they race toward their destination, with the steering barely functional from the earlier collision, Eleni gets a crash course in Black Sea feuds. She learns about the Koçari, about the blood debt, about generations of violence. What is Yangaz? Eleni asks when Esme uses the unfamiliar word. Yangaz means devil. It means enemy. It means mortal enemy. Yangaz means Adil Koçari. And the way Esme says his name, with such venom but also such raw emotion, tells us that this hatred was born from something far more personal than a family feud. Let me paint you a picture of this car ride, because it's absolutely iconic. Here we have Eleni, a sophisticated Greek doctor who graduated top of her class, stuck in a damaged vehicle with a woman pointing a rifle at her, racing toward a confrontation she doesn't understand. The steering wheel shakes violently because of the earlier collision, and Eleni is genuinely afraid they're going to die before they reach their destination. This is too dangerous. We might die, Eleni protests. I will not die before I kill that Yangaz, Esme responds with absolute conviction. And in that moment, Eleni realizes she's dealing with someone for whom death is preferable to dishonor. Someone who would rather crash into a ravine than let an enemy insult go unanswered. This is her introduction to Black Sea culture. And let me tell you, it's quite the welcome party. Throughout the drive, Nico, Eleni's AI assistant, keeps trying to provide helpful information. When Esme asks who's talking, Eleni explains it's her artificial intelligence bot. Esme's response is priceless. Artificial intelligence? I think it's artificially stupid. Because in Esme's world, no computer could ever understand the complexities of honor, blood, and revenge. These are human matters of the heart and the gun, and no algorithm could ever comprehend them. But here's what's fascinating. Despite the tension, despite the gun, despite the clear danger, Eleni doesn't try to escape. She could have jumped out at any point. She could have called for help. Instead, She stays, almost as if fate is keeping her exactly where she needs to be. Because remember, Eleni is searching for her mother, and her mother is from this village. Every second she spends with Esme, every word she hears about the Furtuna family, brings her closer to the truth she's seeking. She just doesn't know it yet. The car finally reaches the outskirts of the disputed territory, and Esme orders Eleni to stop. "I need to pee," she announces, which in the middle of this intense pursuit seems almost comically mundane. But even this simple human need becomes charged with meaning when Esme sees what's happening on her land. Because while she's dealing with nature's call, Adil Koçari is making children do the same thing on her property, turning a biological necessity into a territorial insult that would be funny if it weren't so deeply offensive to everything Esme holds sacred. "Jesus, Virgin Mary, where did I end up?" Eleni whispers to herself, watching the chaos unfold. And honestly, that's the question we're all asking ourselves right now. We arrive at the disputed land just as Adil is there with his men and a group of village children. And what happens next is absolutely outrageous. Adil has brought the children to urinate on Esme's land. Yes, you heard that correctly. He's marking territory in the most primitive, insulting way possible, and he's using children to do it. Esme is livid. She charges forward with her rifle raised, ready to end this insult with blood. But Adil just stands there, smiling that infuriating smile of his, as if he's enjoying every second of her fury. "Did that sting?" he asks mockingly. "They say a dying dog pees on the mosque wall." "That's not a mosque wall, it's my wall," Esme snaps back. "You don't own crap." The confrontation that follows is electric. Adil reveals his true purpose. He wants this land. He'll take it as blood right. Compensation for the debt the Furtuna family owes for killing his father. And if Esme doesn't agree, he'll kill her husband, Sheriff, the moment he's released from prison. But it's when Shirin Furtuna arrives, Esme's mother-in-law and the family matriarch, that we learn the true depth of this blood feud. Adil's grandfather was killed by Shirin's husband and son. Then Adil's father killed them both in revenge. And then Shirin's remaining son, Sharif, killed Adil's father. Eye for an eye, generation after generation, an endless cycle of death. "Choose, Shirin," Adil says coldly. "Should the blood feud go on or end? If you want it to end, you will give me this land. If you want it to continue, I will kill Sharif when he gets out." The tension is unbearable. And then everything explodes. Esme, pushed beyond her breaking point, raises her rifle and fires. The bullet strikes Adil in the side. He falls, blood spreading across his shirt. And for one horrible moment, it seems like the feud has claimed another life. But then, something extraordinary happens. The police arrive, demanding to know who shot Adil Koçari. The villagers claim ignorance, and then Adil himself, bleeding and barely conscious, speaks. "I did. I shot myself." The silence that follows is deafening, because everyone knows the truth. Everyone saw Esme pull the trigger. But Adil Koçari, the man who has sworn to destroy the Furtuna family, the man who wants revenge for his father's murder, protects Esme. He lies to save her from prison. And in that moment, we understand. This isn't just hatred between them. This was love once. A love so powerful that even after everything, even after marriage and murder and years of enmity, Adil cannot bring himself to destroy Esme. Now the race is on to save Adil's life. But here's the complication. Taking him to a hospital would expose Esme's crime. Doctors would see the wound isn't self-inflicted. So instead, young Dr. Oruç Furtuna, Esme's nephew, brings Adil to the small village health clinic. And who should be there but Eleni? Our Greek doctor, still reeling from her bizarre introduction to Black Sea culture, suddenly finds herself in the middle of a medical emergency, and she doesn't hesitate for a second. "I am Dr. Eleni Miriano. I came from Athens," she announces, pushing past the hostile villagers to examine Adil. What follows is a surgery scene that will have you on the edge of your seat. The clinic is barely equipped for this kind of operation. The local nurse, Hikran, openly admits she'd rather let Adil die. Even Esme, who watches from the doorway, seems torn between wanting him saved and wanting him gone forever. But Eleni fights for his life. She extracts the bullet. She controls the bleeding. She does everything her training taught her. And when Esme accuses her of wanting him to die because he's her enemy, Eleni responds with words that cut to the heart of who she is. "I'm here so you don't take that breath away from him, doctor." Adil survives the surgery, but now comes a different kind of battle. Because Zarifa Furtuna, Esme's cousin, and one of the most dangerous women in the family, has been doing her research. She's gone through Eleni's belongings and found something that makes her blood run cold. A passport and a letter the letter that revealed Eleni's adoption, the letter that states her birth mother was from Furtuna village. Gregory Miriano's daughter is at Furtuna. Zarif whispers to Sharif during a prison visit, and the look on Sharif's face tells us everything. He knows exactly who Eleni is, and this secret cannot be allowed to survive. Meanwhile, beautiful flashback sequences transport us 21 years into the past, to a time when Adil and Esme were young, when love was still possible between the mountain and the sea. We see young Esme singing by the water, her voice carrying across the waves. We see young Adil, drawn by that voice, approaching her. We see their first meeting, the instant connection, the fire that sparked between them despite everything that should have kept them apart. If I were to send this tape to the contest, would I win? Young Esme asks. If the jury knows a thing, you would. But wait, I changed my mind. Don't send this tape anywhere. You will become famous. And forget Adil Koçari too. Furtuna, the playfulness between them, the teasing, the way they chase each other across the rocks. It's heartbreaking to watch, knowing what they'll become, knowing that this love will be twisted into hatred by forces beyond their control. Back in the present, the situation for Eleni is becoming increasingly dangerous. The village has turned against her completely. Zarif has spread word that she's a friend of Koçari, that she's an outsider, that she's Christian, that she cannot be trusted. Doors slam in Eleni's face. Her car tires are slashed. Every inn refuses her a room. She's hungry, thirsty, alone in a village that wants her gone or dead. But Eleni refuses to leave. She goes to the staff housing that was supposed to be prepared for her, only to find it's a decrepit ruin that hasn't been maintained in years. And there, in that moment of despair, she finds a lamb with a broken leg. And even though she has nothing, even though she's been rejected by everyone, she kneels down to help the animal. That's when Adil finds her. He's escaped from the clinic against medical advice, driven by a need to meet the doctor who saved his life. And when he sees her there, splinting a lamb's leg with improvised materials, something shifts in him. You saved my life. I will never forget it. He tells her, you are my first friend here in the Black Sea region. Look, the Black Sea's enmity may be ugly, but its friendship is outstanding. From now on, as brother, friend, father, I am here for you. And when he learns that Eleni is searching for her birth family, that her mother was from Furtuna, Adil offers to help. But he also gives her a crucial warning. If your mother was not married when she got pregnant, or later married someone else, when this secret comes out, would her husband not shoot her and call it honor? This village won't spare those who defy tradition. Do not tell anyone. Do not trust anyone from the Furtuna. The irony is devastating. Because Adil doesn't know that the woman Eleni is searching for is Esme. He doesn't know that this young doctor is his own daughter. And Esme, watching from her car as Adil and Eleni talk, has no idea that the Greek girl she's been trying to drive out of town is the baby she thought she lost 20 years ago. But others know. Zarif knows, and she has no intention of letting this secret destroy her family's position. As night falls, Eleni finds herself attacked by thugs on a beach. Men grab her, try to strip her, take photographs to shame her and force her to leave. But Adil, watching from a distance, intervenes. He fights off the attackers, his surgical stitches tearing open, blood soaking through his shirt. Do not let her go, the attackers scream as they flee. We will find you. Eleni gets Adil back to his home in the Koçari village, and now she faces a new crisis. He's lost too much blood. His pulse is weak. He needs a transfusion immediately. RH positive? Eleni asks desperately. I am a positive too. And so, in a scene that will give you chills, Eleni performs a direct blood transfusion. Her blood flows into Adil's veins. Father and daughter, connected by blood in a way neither of them understands, fighting together for his survival. Look, I am not alone either, Adil murmurs deliriously as consciousness fades in and out. My mom and dad are somewhere around here. Eleni, not knowing she's the child he's thinking of, plays her father's bouzouki to soothe him. My father used to say 2 things heal people, she explains, one being prayer, the other is music. And the song she plays is hauntingly familiar. It's Esme's song. The song young Esme was singing the day she met young Adil. The song that brought them together. And now, unknowingly, their daughter plays it for her father as he hovers between life and death. The episode builds to its devastating conclusion with parallel scenes. We see Oruç's engagement ceremony, his family forcing him into a marriage with Sevcan that he doesn't want. We see Esme driving alone on a dark road, haunted by memories. We see Adil, in his fevered state, calling out Esme's name, begging her not to marry someone else, trapped in dreams of their shared past, and we see Zarif and Sharif plotting in the prison visiting room, deciding Eleni's fate. If Adil finds out Esme gave birth to his child, Zarif says. If Esme finds out her baby did not die, Adil will not find out, Sharif responds, and Esme will not find out that her child is alive. We will get rid of that girl. The screen fades to black, leaving us with the image of Eleni playing that bouzouki, her blood running through her father's veins, completely unaware that forces are already moving to destroy her before she can discover the truth of who she really is. And there you have it. What an absolutely explosive premiere episode. Can you believe everything we just witnessed? We have Adil, a man so consumed by hatred for the Furtuna family that he makes children urinate on their land, yet so unable to let go of his love for Esme that he lies to the police to protect her from murder charges. What does that tell us about this man's heart? We have Esme, who actually shot Adil, who pulled that trigger intending to kill, yet who also saved his life by bringing him to the clinic instead of leaving him to die in the street. A woman who sings songs of lost love while her husband rots in prison for killing her true love's father. And then there's Eleni, this brilliant young doctor who crosses continents to find her birth mother, only to end up saving the life of her birth father, without either of them knowing their connection. The blood transfusion scene, my friends, that was pure symbolism. Father and daughter, literally sharing blood, and neither has any idea. But here's the question that should terrify us all. Zarif and Sharif know the truth. They know Eleni is Adil and Esme's daughter. They know this secret could destroy everything. Their family's position, Esme's marriage, the entire balance of power in Valle Salvaje, and they've already decided to eliminate her. What do you think will happen when they make their move? Will Adil figure out who Eleni really is before it's too late? Will Esme recognize something in this young doctor that reminds her of herself, of Adil, of the baby she was told died at birth? And what about that past? We saw glimpses of young Adil and Esme's love story, but there's so much we don't know yet. How did they go from chasing each other playfully across rocks to trying to kill each other? What happened to their baby? Who told Esme her child was dead? And why? The blood feud between these families has claimed multiple lives already. Adil's grandfather, his father, Esme's father-in-law, and brother-in-law. Will Eleni become the next casualty? Or will she be the one who finally breaks the cycle? I want to hear all your theories in the comments. What impacted you most about this episode? Was it Adil protecting Esme despite everything? Was it Eleni's determination to find her mother against all odds? Was it that devastating flashback showing us what Adil and Esme could have been if the world had been kinder? From 0 to 10, how would you rate Adil's decision to protect Esme? Was it romantic or foolish? And what about Esme shooting him in the first place? Can she ever be redeemed for that? This premiere has set up one of the most emotionally complex stories I've ever seen. A love triangle that spans generations, a blood feud that refuses to die, a daughter searching for a mother who doesn't know she's alive, and villains willing to kill to keep their secrets buried. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single moment of what's coming in. Taşacak bu Deniz, because with Zarif plotting murder, with Adil slowly recovering in his mountain stronghold, with Esme carrying the weight of 20 years of lies, and with Eleni determined to uncover the truth no matter the cost, the best and the worst is yet to come. Will this sea overflow with secrets revealed? Will this mountain crumble under the weight of ancient sins? There's only one way to find out. Until next time, dear viewers, and remember, in Taşacak bu Deniz, love and hate are two sides of the same coin, and the sea always remembers what the mountain tries to forget.